You're listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, where you get valuable information you just can't find anywhere else. To thrive in today's trying times, you need the Financial Survival Network, now more than ever. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and get your free newsletter and gift. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.
Welcome. You are listening to watching the Financial Survival Network. I'm Kerry Lutz. Well, we've got a kindred soul out there. He is a attorney who never had to recover because he never had to practice, unlike yours truly. His name is John Michailidis. John, you are an author, international real estate expert, degree in economics. You served with the U.S. Army 82nd Airborne. Is that the Screaming Eagles? Do I have that right?
No, Screaming Eagles are 101st, and they're air assault.
Right. Okay. So, but you have like a really diverse background, and you're a fellow adherent or devotee to the Austrian School of Economics. So even if you are an attorney, a human action, I read it from cover to cover. One of the few, those that saying, oft quoted, least read, certainly applies to Ludwig von Mises's works. So tell me what you're doing now. This book, I've kind of been taking a close look at strategic planning and investing for individuals, asset protection, a topic I know a little bit about, diversification and passive investing for cash flow and lifestyle liberation. All sounds like too good to be true here, John.
Well, if you listen to the HR lady who tells you to put all your money into the company 401k plan, it is too good to be true. But if you actually use your mind and think and get around people that have different ideas, you'll find that it actually is quite possible. So the book isn't meant to make anyone a master of anything. It's meant to be a series of tastes. The idea is when I talk to people, back to the 401k lady, they say, well, I've got my 401k from work, so that's my retirement plan. They don't know what the difference is between an investment and speculation. Most people have mostly speculations and little, if any, investments. They think Wall Street is working in their best interest when in fact Wall Street is looking to maximize Wall Street's returns, not to maximize their returns. And the simple question is, how many people do you know who have played by the rules, put their money into the company 401k, and then become financially free? If we're in a room with 100 people and I ask them that question, maybe 2 or 3 will raise their hands. So the book is about what is investing, first of all. And investing is more than just putting money into something. It's the complete strategic vision, right? So what about estate planning? What about protecting your assets? What about tax planning? Yes, there is Wall Street, but what about syndications? What about precious metals? There's a whole world of businesses, royalties. There's a world of investing opportunity that the average person could participate in, but they know nothing about. So the book, again, isn't meant to make anyone an expert in anything, but there's an extensive bibliography. I haven't counted, maybe 30, 40 books as references. You want to learn more about tax planning? Here's some books. I'm not teaching you tax planning. You want to know about estate planning? I'll tell you a little bit about it and why it's important, but here are some books. Gold and silver investing, offshore syndications. So my desire is that when someone puts down this book, they go, wow, thank you for enlightening me. Nobody's ever told me these things. And now I know where to go start looking and educating myself so I can take some action on these new ideas.
So what do you think the biggest lie is that Wall Street tells you?
Oh, this 401k business is to me the biggest lie. It's a subscription service that Wall Street has into your bank account. Every time you get a paycheck, they take a little piece of it and put it into their funds with companies that have no allegiance to you, that may be pursuing agendas that are completely against everything you stand for. Look, 401k is a section of the Internal Revenue Code. Why don't they teach them about Section 401A? Why don't they teach people that they can set up their own individual retirement plans, that can invest in syndications, that can invest in physical gold and silver, that can invest in businesses, and they can also invest in Wall Street? Mm-hmm. You can invest in real assets with your qualified retirement plan. You can't do that with the 401k plan. And you have all the same tax benefits and asset protection in case of bankruptcy, et cetera, and so forth. It's all the same protections. You just can invest in whatever you want to. God forbid, Wall Street, you find out about that from Wall Street's perspective. God forbid.
So you like these self-directed retirement plans you could put into real estate, gold, whatever, self-directed IRAs. They have self-directed 401ks as well, right?
Yes, but, there's danger, right? With freedom comes responsibility. So you can set these up for $3,500. Let's say you can have the paperwork drafted, and you can have yourself a qualified retirement plan. Now, individuals don't get qualified retirement plans. Businesses get qualified retirement plans. But you don't have to have been in business any certain amount of time. You don't have any particular income requirements. So you can start a business and set one of these plans up. If you're married, your spouse can automatically be a part of the plan. If you actually have a going business, your employees can be a part of it. So these are things that can be set up, but just because you have the ability to set these up doesn't mean you don't have a responsibility to educate yourself. I mean, it's easy for us to say, invest in real estate, invest in physical gold and silver, invest in royalty streams. But you've got to educate yourself. And here's the reality. Nobody is going to become an expert in all the areas that one needs to have expertise in, which is why I say that investing is not a lone wolf endeavor. Investing is a team sport. You've got to bring on advisors that you know and trust, advisors who aren't just out to get a fee from you, advisors who have fiduciary responsibility to you to look out for your best interests. So you need insurance people, you need real estate people, you need estate planning people, you need CPAs. Now, day one, you're 21 years old and just graduated college and you don't have two nickels to rub together. You probably don't need to hire a team, but you need to know what that team looks like, and you need to know what to aspire to. You need to know some books to read, some podcasts to listen to. So, yes, you can self-direct. But you need to research exactly what that means, and don't make the mistake of trying to be a lone wolf. Investing is a team sport.
All right. So, but when you're doing all this, like you say, with freedom comes responsibility. What can go wrong when you're managing your own retirement, your own 401k, self-directed plan, whatever?
Don't just survive, thrive. The Financial Survival Network.
Torque Resources is an exploration company establishing a portfolio of premier copper-gold early-stage projects in Chile. Torque's management and technical teams have a strong track record of raising capital, discovery, and monetization of exploration successes. The company's Margarita copper-gold project is located within the prolific coastal Cordillera Belt in Chile, which hosts some of the world's largest and most profitable copper mines. The Margarita project possesses excellent discovery potential potential for a major copper discovery due to the strength of the alteration system, large-scale magnetic targets, and the presence of copper oxide mineralization. Drilling is anticipated to begin in Q3 of this year. Torque trades in Canada under TORQ and on the OTC under TRBMF. To learn more, go to torqueresources.com. That's torqueresources.com.
This is the Financial Survival Network, the information you need to thrive now more than ever.
Oh gosh, that question it's impossible to answer. The same things can go wrong when you're doing it yourself as when someone else is doing it. But clearly you have more of a vested interest in what's going on than the 401k lady at work does. So again, education is key. Understand the fundamentals of the things that you're investing in, and then get that advisory team around you. I'll tell you a great thing to do. Go to conferences. You're interested in investing in multifamily housing? Start going to multifamily housing conferences. Introduce yourself to the speakers when they're done in chitty chat. Go to all the breakout sessions. Walk around all the booths and see what the vendors are offering and what kind of expertise there are to offer. You're interested in more broader base investing. You don't know what you want. Try the New Orleans Investment Conference, and you'll learn about gold and silver, and you'll learn about oil and gas exploration, and you'll learn about real estate syndications. You'll get some crypto, some general macroeconomic outlooks. Not only are you taking in what the experts are saying, what the vendors in that field are selling, but who goes to these events, other people just like you. So you start building a network, you start making friendships. You are going to become the sum of the people you hang out with, are you not? Mm-hmm. So if you have an idea of what you want to accomplish, if you have an idea that, sticking your money in the company 401k, there's got to be more to it than that, start making an effort to go, make a go. I'm going to go to 2 conferences next year.
Right. What about Will Rogers saying, invest in inflation? It's the only thing going up. What's your take?
Well,
sage
clearly,
advice or outdated?
No, I think it's sage advice. If you look at what happened, don't hold me to the exact numbers and dates. It's the gist of what I'm saying. But in the last 2 years, more money has been created by our U.S. federal government. 45% of the money created by our federal government has been ever since the inception of the country has been created in the last 2 years. Think about that. How could that possibly be? Well, we've got people that were getting their stimmy checks. We've got people that were getting paid for not working. We've got people that had a free pass on paying their rent. There was a lot of money pumped into the economy. Where does that money go? That money shows up in increased prices, which we are seeing now. By the way, fundamental is that you understand that any numbers the government puts out, this isn't conspiracy. This is just, it's human nature. Mm-hmm. And government is made of humans. The numbers they put out are designed to make themselves look as good as possible. If they tell you that inflation is 8%, it's probably 16%. There's a great site, shadowstats.com. All right, there you go. So Shadow Stats gives you an idea. What's the real inflation rate? What's the real unemployment rate? So the government, I'm not saying it's your enemy, but they have vested interests that are not yours. So take all these numbers with a grain of salt. Understand that today inflation is worse than they are telling us it is. The employment numbers are worse. If you get fed up with not being able to find a job and just drop out, you're no longer unemployed. You're not counted.
That was easy.
Yeah, that was easy. Also, if you were making $150,000 a year as a middle manager, and now you're working as a greeter at Walmart. To the stats, one job for one job. There's no change. Well, tell that to the person that was making 150 and now they're a greeter at Walmart. So you've got to go past these broad economic numbers and, start listening to podcasts like this. Go on YouTube, find credible sources. Jim Rickards, Casey. There's Daniela Cambone. There's a lot of people out there that are keeping track of what's really going on in the economy. CNBC is never going to tell you what's really going on. They're pushing a narrative. MSNBC is pushing a narrative. Fox News is pushing a narrative. Get out there. I have a ritual. Sunday is my YouTube day. And I'm not watching kittens, right?
No cat videos.
I'm listening to the Daniela Cambonis and the Jim Rickards and the Caseys. So I spend 4 or 5 hours every week. Just what do all these minds have to say about what's going on in the economy? Look, you've got to take responsibility for your own future. And finances are a big part of our future. There's a section in my book where I make it clear that finances should not run your life. They're not the most important thing in life. However, it is a very important part of life. Zig Ziglar said, money isn't everything, and I'm paraphrasing, money isn't everything, but it's reasonably close to oxygen. In other words, if you don't have any, you're in trouble. And if you mismanage it, you're in trouble. And if you give it to somebody else and think they're going to manage it in your best interest, you're in trouble. So hopefully something like this, again, where it's going to give you tastes of the areas that you should make yourself aware of and give you a base that you can go deep dive into various areas, and you start going to conferences, and you start meeting people, and you start having correspondence with like-minded individuals. It does take effort, but you can position your life such that, okay, another section in my book, I talk about this financial freedom business. Doesn't mean you have to be a multimillionaire, right? You can design your life to live on whatever income level you want to. If you want to live a $40,000 a year lifestyle, nobody has a right to tell you that you can't. If you want to live a $200,000 a year lifestyle or a $20 million a year lifestyle, obviously achieving that financial freedom with a $20 million a year lifestyle is going to take a heck of a lot more work than achieving the $40,000 a year lifestyle. But you can achieve. It's up to you. I can't tell you what you should do and what's right for you. But you can set yourself up. You can set your finances up such that they're protected, that you have cash flow, and you're achieving a lifestyle off of your investments with a minimal amount of physical labor. I always like to say toil is highly overrated. Making money with your brain is a lot better than making money with your body.
Yeah. Well, I always say money can't buy happiness, but it'll do till the real thing comes along. And the other thing is, somebody once said to me, if money can't buy happiness, then you are shopping in the wrong store. So think about that. But,
yeah,
I've seen a lot of this, heard a lot of it. Obviously, Wall Street doesn't necessarily have your best interests at heart, for sure. So figuring out who you can believe is really kind of challenging at times. Hey, people want to get your book, John, want to connect with you on the web. How do you do that?
Oh, that's easy. I have a website, wealthloop.com. Two words put together, wealthloop, LOOP.com. If you go to the website, you will see links to the store. So you can buy the book on Amazon, buy the book at Barnes & Noble, or you can do it through my site, in which case you'll get 10% off the cover price, and I'll personalize it and sign it and send it to you free shipping. But that's your business. And LinkedIn links and Facebook and all that stuff is on there too if you want to connect.
Very cool, man. I like it. I like your attitude here. I don't know if in today's dumbed down world, people are actually capable of doing this large numbers. I think there's a liberation process that has to take place and an education process. And for many people, you're probably better off not even bothering. But for those few who want to really get things to the next level, and that's not just your finances, but your life, I think, John, what you're espousing here is very valuable. Hey, if you got a question for John, just shoot me an email, kl@kerrylutz.com. You're at the website. You can just click and go right to John's website on financialsurvivalnetwork.com. And hey, you're at the site, just sign up for a free newsletter. John, been a pleasure. Really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you very much, sir. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, your solution to today's trying times. For the latest, go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.